Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my review and this sort of general, just a general video on my newfound, not newfound, but like re-emphasized, re-energized love for DC's Legends of Tomorrow on the CW. I did a review on season one a while ago. I'll probably have a link to that at the end of the video if you want to hear my thoughts of when I first finished season one. But I just finished season two in time, of course, for the season three premiere in a few weeks here. Also, got to do my reviews on the Arrow season five and such. But yeah, let me just say, I did like the first season of Legends of Tomorrow. I did enjoy it. I thought it was pretty good. But let me tell you, season two, it really, really clicked and worked with me in quite a number of ways. I think the show definitely improved in season two for a number of reasons, and it just seemed to have better footing. And in all honesty now, I think Legends of Tomorrow might be my favorite comic book show out there. Which I know is a big statement to make, with all the content like this we have out there now. And I probably still couldn't really compare it to shows like, Daredevil or, The Punisher coming up or anything like that. Just because they're so different, style and such. But as far as like DC TV and then like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff like that and Gotham, I think Legends of Tomorrow is my favorite. I do still like Arrow. Arrow can still have its strong and, fine points to it. But, it's bogged down by the Felicity stuff and it has more of a formulaic type of setup. I don't want to make this whole comparison video, but I just feel like Legends of Tomorrow is a more dynamic, exciting, and engaging show because it has a more unique premise. So it allows for more fun to be had, more, and then less chances to be, like case of the week stuff, like by the numbers sort of criminal in the city and stuff like that. And because they time travel, it allows for, different settings in most every episode if they want to. And it just makes for a lot of fun. The show has a lot of humor, the chemistry back and forth between the cast. It's more evident than ever. And then it can get serious and, have some weight to it when it wants to, too. So I do feel like it's become a superior show compared to Arrow. And it's a hell of a lot better than The Flash. I admit I haven't seen all of The Flash. But, I just didn't really get into it. But Legends of Tomorrow, it's really taking it here. Of course, my favorite character being, Caity Lotz, Sarah Lance, the White Canary. I loved her development this season, with what was going on with Rip Hunter. I do like Rip Hunter, but I feel like Sarah Lance and her development was really nice this season. Her becoming the captain, I thought was a really good and natural progression, in my opinion. I like her as the captain. And I do like the bond and understanding that comes up between her and Rip, towards the end of the season. Rip, meanwhile, is, he's sort of missing for part of the season. Then he's eventually, held by the, Legion of Doom and stuff like that. Eventually thought his memory, and then he's, turned evil for a bit. I thought that was pretty fun, though. At times, Rip almost made an even better villain than he did a hero. But I do think he's still a really cool part of the team and everything, but I just really like Sarah's place as captain. Caity Lotz is just awesome. I could go on about her all day. I'm not going to be able to go into, like every detail of the season. I'm probably going to miss, quite a few things. But like I said, some of those, Legends of Tomorrow Case of the Week episodes are a hell of a lot more fun than like your Arrow Case of the Week episodes, and I feel like they can have really unique setups like this while still trying to push the main plot of the season forward. Like I really like the premiere, Out of Time. I like the Shogun, Samurai episode. I liked how that, let's see. I like how Nate was developed this season as well. He's sort of a new character. Played by Nick Zano, and I was kind of mixed on him at first, but he really, really grew on me, and now I see him as essential, to the team. I also really like Macy Richardson-Sellers as Vixen, the grandmother to the Vixen we've seen on Arrow. And I'm happy they actually changed that. I guess the original actress from Arrow, Mary McCabe, she was busy with some kind of a scheduling conflict or something. So they didn't bring her in. Instead, they wrote Macy Richardson-Sellers in as, from the Justice Society of America from the 1940s, and had her join the team. Which I actually think was a better move. It allowed for more freedom with the character, and I do, from what I've seen anyway, think that Macy Richardson-Sellers is a better actress. She is just more able to get more dynamic with her emotions and such, because I also seen her on the originals as a pretty, fairly creepy villain, even though she was underused on that a bit. I still really like her. I like Vixen a lot now, at least Legends of Tomorrow Vixen. I think both her and Nate made for much better members of the team than Hawkman and Hawkgirl were in the first season. The actress who played Hawkgirl, Clara Renee, she wasn't a bad actress, but I felt both her and Hawkman came off really sort of bland and dull, and kind of just felt stuck with that Vandal Savage plot. But I definitely think Vixen and Nate, Steele, fit better on the team, and they just feel more natural, and just have more energy to them as characters, I think. As far as my other favorite episodes, I liked every single one of them. But there's also like Outlaw Country, the Western stuff. Of course, the Invasion crossover, which I thought was fun this year. The aliens and such, I thought was good. And you have the Camelot. Then when they're stuck, Land of the Lost with the dinosaur thing. The whole Apollo 13 setup and Moonshot. Again, just some really fun episodes in here, and I always feel like the pacing in Legends is far superior, because they do have a less excuse me, they do have a less episode count than the other two shows, so that's probably an advantage. I hope they don't try and push it to 22 sometime, but either way, I just think the writing's better on Legends. From episode to episode, it keeps me more engaged for some reason. And of course, the main threat this season was the Legion of Doom, led by the Reverse Flash. Like I said, I haven't seen much of the Flash, so I don't know everything about this character, but I thought he made for an alright villain, especially when he teamed up with, an earlier version of Damien Dark, who was the main villain on Arrow in Season 4, along with Malcolm Merlyn, of course. I thought that was a fairly good threat. I always geeked out when we got to see like Sarah fight Damien Dark, or even Malcolm Merlyn. There's like two, a couple dream matches there, I guess. And it was good to see Sarah finally be able to, beat Damien Dark in the end. Neil McDonough did a really nice job. I liked him on Justified. I've liked him in every role, even like Walking Tall. Damien Dark is sort of like a generic villain, but he's just such a good actor. He's really, fun to watch, I think. Of course, Sarah chooses not to kill him in the end and everything, but still she was able to defeat him fully, which I thought was very satisfying. Then they also brought back Captain Cold, Wentworth Miller. I had mixed feelings on that, as did the rest of the team, because they basically had plucked Captain Cold from the time before he joined the Legend, so he's still kind of evil and kind of stuck in his ways. But I still thought it was fun to see him, and I like how they resolved that at the end of the season, with Mick, taking him back, to the point where he's about to join the Legends, telling him what a better man he's going to be because of it. So I'm glad that they still respected Captain Cold's development from the first season. I hope they bring him back in full at some point, as a full-time member of the Legends, or maybe for like the final season or two, I don't know. But I liked Mick this season as well. He had some back and forth with him, or whether they could actually trust him or not. They realizes how much he does care about these people again. Dominic Parcell did a pretty good job. He also had Martin, and meeting his daughter from an alternate reality where he actually paid more attention to his wife. And I like Martin Stein. I think Victor Garber actually does a really nice job acting wise. And I felt for him here in his sort of confliction with it. I'm glad how they resolved that as well, for the most part anyway. And I could just go on and on about every episode of this season. I'll say the finale was really crazy. The whole World War I setting and everything that they used a couple times, I thought was pretty good. Seeing them having worked with previous versions of themselves from like episodes ago was fun as well. And you got to see this whole battle play out. Where some of their earlier versions had gotten themselves killed in order to have or no, some of the current versions got themselves killed in order to have the earlier versions go on and do what they had to do with the Spear of Destiny. Um, it left me with some weird feelings because the versions of the characters we know that went through all this, knew about all the time issues and stuff, and that had to go back into this, they end up dying for the most part, but we see the early versions of themselves gain all this knowledge for what had happened, then go on. So in a way, it feels slightly hollow, that the versions that went through everything are gone now. But it is what it is. It's still basically them, but they just didn't experience quite as much as the others did throughout the season. It's kind of confusing to talk about. But nonetheless, I still like the really Sarah-centric stuff in the finale as well. Her seeing Laurel and everything, I thought was really touching, and her trying to resolve that within herself. And as Rip said, she is strong enough, and she's able to pull it off. So I really liked how that was done. But it turns out they screwed up the timeline or whatever even more, and it's not Barry's fault this time. We see dinosaurs in the city and stuff like that. So I have a feeling it's going to be a pretty crazy start to season 3. But yeah, I just really, really liked Legends of Tomorrow, and I thought the second season was even better than the first. I can say I honestly even love the show at this point. Like I think it's the best show, except for like Netflix and stuff. I think it's the best show on TV that like this. Better than Gotham, better than Arrow, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Flash, everything. So yeah, definitely better than Inhumans. But anyway. So yeah, if there's anything else about the season you want to bring up, feel free to. I'd love to talk about it more. So yeah, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. And if I had to rate the season, I think I rated the first season like a B+, or I'd probably put it to like a B right now. But as far as the second season, I'm actually gonna give it like an A-, maybe an A. So I liked it that much. Peace.